Hey everybody, I am so glad that you are here listening today. We are with Jennifer Rachal. She is the owner of Just Dance Studio today, and she's going to be talking to us about creatively managing your business during this COVID age that we all find ourselves in. So Jennifer, thank you so much for being here with us today. And would you just kind of tell us a little about yourself and your studio?
Sure. I want to thank you for having us. It's an honor and a privilege to do this. Yes, Just Dance has been in business since 2005. So this is our 15th season. And, we started off with 5 faculty members and we're now up to 14 faculty members, from having 2 studio rooms to having 4 studio rooms, from having 75 kids, dancers, to we have a little over 400 right now. So it's been a great ride, and now we're faced with this challenging times, but we're getting through it.
And it is a challenge, I think, for everybody right now, but specifically dance studios, fine arts, they're dealing with this in a whole different way. And so how has the stay-at-home mandate really affected your classes, your studio specifically?
Well, we were hearing it through the news just like everyone else, and it was almost unbelievable that it was actually happening. And you and I kind of talked earlier, it's like, you've seen movies and stuff with things like this happening, and you just never think that it's ever going to happen to you. And here we are, with it in our face. And so, my team and I got together and made a decision before that they had mandated us, to be closed. We went ahead and made that decision because, we have dancers. It's hard to have a 6-foot social distancing when you've got little ones that like to touch everything. And even though you disinfect and everything, it just was not in the best interest. So that was a hard decision to make. But it was the safest one because we wanted to put our families and I wanted to put my staff and everybody first. So, but I have to tell you that my staff, they're great, of course, but they have just really come together. We just put our heads together and started figuring out, okay, what do we need to do? And have come up with I like to think, some great avenues to use while we're in this shutdown period. So we've done a lot of alternative ways to stay connected with our families and our dancers.
Yeah. Well, and I know just being proactive is one thing that we're all having to almost have a new appreciation for. Like, how did you go from, okay, we're going to have a recital in May to, well, no, we need a new plan now. I know you were telling me you guys were just so proactive. And what did that look like for y'all? Was that new?
Well, I'm a big planner. So when we sat down and talked about this, I brought my team in and said, look, we've got this date, which we've had, we book our dates 3 years in advance. So we know our dates way ahead of time. And, but when I saw this coming, I was like, okay, well, we're the last weekend in May. And okay, what am I going to do? What if we're not able to do this? What if the crowds are still at 250, which they were at the time when I made the call to say, hey, what other dates are available for me, that if I do have to have a postponed date, what's available to me? So I managed to get that locked down and secured for a date in June. And so, we're still keeping and hoping and praying that the one in May happens. But if for some reason, conditions are the way that they are, then we do have that fallback date that hopefully that one will come into play if it's kind of rained on.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a wake-up call for a lot of us, just the need to be proactive and have a backup plan, and be looking at things enough in advance so that we can adjust for these types of things. And it takes a lot of creativity as well. And so one thing we noticed, Jennifer, is that you've just done a phenomenal job being creative with still continuing to serve like your students and your dancers. Could you tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing right now to continue teaching and keeping your dancers in shape?
Sure. Like I said, it takes a village to run this dance studio. It's not just me by any means. It's every last one of us. And when I tell you, I mean, they have been like soldiers, just diligently, constantly coming up with different things and ideas, and to feed that the needs to our dancers, because some of them have been dancing for years, and it's their home away from home, and it's people, it's not cliche, but we're just dance, but it's not just dancing that they're getting here. That's relationships, it's responsibility, it's so many life lessons that dance offers. It's not just dancing, but anyway, so we put our heads together, and we're trying to figure out maybe online, virtual, which a lot of the people studios around the world are doing, and not just dance studios, other businesses. So we have created what's called an online campus, and we have different sections that our dancers can go to. We have an adaptive dance program here, and then we have our junior program, our preteen program, teen program, senior program. So we're giving them a variety of genres that they can go into, that we've created this website that's attached to our regular website that we've assigned logins and everything to, that they can go in and go to their specific program, and they are able to take whatever is on there. We're basically building a library, whether it's in every genre that is offered to that particular age. And so we have had tons of positive feedback from parents to dancers. The parents are dancing with the kids and submitting those videos to us. And I think I shared with you the other day, one of my instructors who's head of our We Dance program, she had a little one that was just now, getting excited and letting her hair down, and to see Miss Katie, and used to giving her high five. And when she saw Miss Katie on the screen, she's like, "Mom, Miss Katie's not giving me high five." And then she sends us a picture of her kissing the screen, and it's just like, oh, it was just so bittersweet, because it was so, we were excited that she was making that connection with her, but then it was so sad not, because they don't really understand what's going on. The younger ones don't. So I think what we're doing is great, and we're still building on other things what else can we do? Our minds as dance teachers, as artists, we're constantly, okay, now what now? What can we do? To help, because the kids are at home, and we want them to stay active, with some sort of movement. It might not be what they're used to, but now dance studios and other businesses have to think, this, I don't like to think it's going to be the new norm, but it's a possibility. We're going to have these things in place, measures in place, and policies in place for circumstances like this, So we've learned a lot from it, and it will definitely be something we will keep our online campus and use it for other needs, like, if whatever, hurricanes or whatever happens and you get shut down, we still have content and material, learning material, education material to pass on to our students to stay connected with them.
Right. And I think it's similar to what some of the school teachers are dealing with as well. Like, you have this safe place for kids, and they have this space where they are active, and they have a place where they can be artistic and be creative. And you take that away, and it just can really mentally and emotionally affect these kids as well.
Sure.
And so I think what you guys are doing is helping to push them to continue that side of their learning and their growth alongside you, even if you're not there physically. And right. I think that's incredible. I mean, have you heard from any of your kids, like just any stories from parents of, hey, they were struggling, but like this has given them just maybe something to do during the day?
Yes. It's funny because we actually had one story. the brother, and it's actually one of my staff, her little girl takes dance, and the little boy was enjoying it just as much, if not more, than her was, and then, sometimes we have, I've seen another case that we have an older dancer that has a younger sibling, and so the older one will go to her program, which may be the junior program, and then we have the little one who has, our preschooler program, our young kids, and so they're doing each other's, dances or activities or exercises, whatever it may be, and it's a cool thing to see, and it's just, like I said, it's kind of bittersweet because you just miss that interaction with them, but it's great to see them doing it, and that's satisfying in itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then also I think you were saying it opens up even new avenues for these kids. So even if they're enrolled in just a ballet class, now they're getting to see tap or hip hop or whatever.
Wanted to do that for them. So, and you're exactly right. We have some that are in just jazz, but if they're in that whatever program, the preteen program, they have access to everything. So, maybe tap into a different one next year or two or whatever. So it's giving them a lot of exposure to different genres,
Yeah. And in the long term.
And we also have is CLI, which is we're a partnership program with them, which they have been phenomenal. For a while when that first week happened, they were doing free classes for whoever, and they did it for a week, and that was awesome. But now it's restricted to the actual partnership program. So we were able, because we do that, we're affiliated with that, we're able to link them, and so there's another whole library of educational material that they have access to, which is a great resource as well.
Yeah. And I mean, in the long term, I think that's going to just help even build your studio and your reputation, because you've been able to meet this challenge and still provide quality content for your kids through all of this. But what have you learned, do you feel like, is the most valuable thing? Or are there some things that along the way you feel like are the most strategic new things that you will keep in place for hopefully as long as your studio is around and you have dancers coming to you?
Yeah. I mean, it's been, I have the philosophy of everything happens for a reason. There's a learning lesson involved. So, I mean, we've learned, not to take anything for granted, life itself, in general, tomorrow's not promised. And we will recover. I think everyone, all small businesses, big and small, will recover. And I think we'll be better for it. This has kind of made us all sit back, we're all kind of at home, and life is so fast, and everybody, usually in most families, mom and dad both work and kids are at school, and, we get so caught up, and, so it's kind of, everybody's kind of had that family time and gotten reunited with their families. And I feel like, everything that we do is a gift, and we should take it as that and not take it for granted. And I know us here as a studio, none of us like not being able to be at the studio and do what we love to do, because all of my instructors truly passionately love what they do. Several of them have other jobs. I've got some that are RN, or they're a nurse practitioner, or school teachers, or, and if I'm forgetting somebody, forgive me, but, they're passionate. And I think you were a former dancer, right? Yeah. And I mean, it's in your blood, and it's just so hard to let go. So we understand and empathize with our students, because it's just as hard for us, just not even just to be in the building. I had a parent actually text me this morning and say, I never thought I would miss sitting in the parking lot waiting on my dancer to get out of class. And she's like, if I could just go back to the parking lot, and then we had one that they're like, what do you do when your child wants to dance so much? I think they were just probably out and just had to get out of the house for a second or whatever. And they took a picture like way out in the parking lot. And it was just, like, as dance teachers, we are role models, we are mentors. And because I know for me, my dance teacher, to this day, she was up on a pedestal, and and what that feeling's like.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, it's a weird deal, but it's so true. And so when we get back, because we will, because I keep telling everybody, this COVID-19 is temporary, but Just Dance is forever. So we're going to get back in the saddle, and we're going to be better than ever, and not take it for granted, and work hard in our classes, and life will go on.
Yeah, no. Well, and we were watching a video the other day, and basically the gist of this speech was that these are the times that are building your business and like growing you into like what you're going to be and what you're going to be known for. And it's like, how are we redeeming this time? How are we managing it creatively and coming up with even new ways that are better ways, and they're going to be lasting ways that we do business, and that we run things. And it's a time that I think all of us can continue just to really just use, even though it's hard, it's challenging. It's not bad. It's not bad for us. It's not bad for small businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
it could be.
It definitely.
It could be worse. There are worse things that could happen right now.
It could. I think it's just right now. It's what you make of it. It is bad. I'm not saying it's not bad. Like overall.
No. Exactly. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
But there are still things that we can do, and that we will do, and that we will get back to.
Exactly. And I think that's been one of the neatest things, is just seeing small businesses come together and just be creative and come up with new ways of doing things. And that's why, we're just very, very impressed with what you've been able to do in your studio with your kids. And that's the kind of thing that's it's gonna help you even just hang on through this and after this. And your families are gonna love you all the more for just persevering and pushing through it. But yeah. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else to share with us, to share with our listeners? I know we have a lot of just small business owners out there watching. Anything you could just kind of send them with on their way?
Just keep the faith. You just got to keep the faith, and you got to push through it. And we're all in the same boat together. And, you just keep praying, and it will eventually pass. They say this too shall pass. My mom used to say that all the time when something would happen. This too shall pass, and this will. It will. But you got to hang in there. You got to just, saddle up, and you got to hold on to the reins, and you just got to keep driving through it, and you'll get through it. You'll get through the storm, and there will be rainbows and sunlight at the end.
Yeah.
I do believe that with all my heart. I do believe that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. And I will talk to you hopefully in person after all this is over sometime or another.
Have an invite. Come take a class. We will be back in action.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And everybody, thank you so much for listening. It was so good to have you join us. Bye. Bye, Jennifer.
Bye. See you later.